actually change starting tomorrow. Stay with me, because what you eat at breakfast could quietly decide how strong or fragile your body becomes in the next few years. Many adults over 60 notice a gradual decline in strength, balance, and energy, and it's often accepted as a natural and unavoidable part of aging. However, research from well-established institutions like the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and the Mayo Clinic explains that this process, commonly known as age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia, is not purely inevitable and is strongly influenced by daily lifestyle choices. Instead of happening suddenly, it develops slowly over time, much like a battery that loses its ability to hold a charge when it is not properly maintained. Your muscles are in a constant cycle of breakdown and repair, and when you are younger, this cycle works efficiently. As you age, though, your body becomes less sensitive to the signals that stimulate muscle repair, especially the signals that come from protein intake and physical activity. According to Harvard Health and multiple studies available on PubMed, this reduced responsiveness means that older adults need to be more intentional about how they nourish their bodies. It's not just about eating more food, but about eating the right type of food at the right time. One of the most overlooked opportunities to support muscle health is breakfast. After an overnight fast, your body is in a catabolic state, meaning it has been breaking down stored energy to keep you functioning. The NIH highlights that this is a critical window when your body is especially receptive to nutrients that can shift it back into a rebuilding mode. However, many seniors either skip breakfast entirely or consume meals that are low in protein, such as tea with toast or refined carbohydrates. While these options may feel light and convenient, they do not provide the essential amino acids required to support muscle maintenance. The Mayo Clinic emphasizes that maintaining muscle mass is not only about physical strength, but also about preserving independence, improving balance, and reducing the risk of falls. Without adequate nutritional support, especially in the morning, the body may continue to break down muscle tissue for longer periods, gradually leading to noticeable weakness over time. Additionally, focusing only on exercise without addressing nutrition can limit results, as muscles require both stimulus and proper fuel to stay strong. Organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, also reinforce that a combination of balanced nutrition and consistent movement is key to healthy aging. It is important to remember that this information is intended for general educational purposes and not as personalized medical advice. Individuals with specific health conditions or those taking medications should always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to their diet or routine. Understanding the science behind how your body changes with age allows you to make informed decisions, and even small, consistent adjustments, especially starting with your morning habits, can influence how your muscles are maintained over time. As the body ages, the process that maintains muscle begins to slow down in a way that is often compared to a construction site losing efficiency over time. In younger years, the body quickly repairs and rebuilds muscle tissue through a process called muscle protein synthesis, but after the age of 60, this system becomes less responsive. Research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, explains that this reduced responsiveness is a key factor behind age-related muscle decline, often referred to as sarcopenia. In simple terms, your body still has the ability to rebuild muscle, but it requires stronger or more consistent signals to do so. These signals primarily come from protein intake and physical activity. However, according to Harvard Health and Studies indexed on PubMed, older adults experience what is known as anabolic resistance, meaning the body does not respond to protein as efficiently as it once did. This is why eating the same way you did in your 30s or 40s may no longer provide the same benefits for muscle maintenance. One of the most common mistakes people make is assuming that eating light or healthy is enough, especially at breakfast. Many seniors start their day with foods that are low in protein, such as toast, tea, or cereal, believing these choices are beneficial. While these foods may provide quick energy, they do not contain the essential amino acids required to effectively stimulate muscle repair. The Mayo Clinic highlights that protein is a critical nutrient for maintaining muscle mass, and it becomes even more important with age. Without enough protein, especially early in the day, the body may remain in a state where muscle breakdown exceeds muscle rebuilding. This imbalance, when repeated daily, gradually contributes to muscle loss over time. Another important factor is meal timing. After a night of fasting, the body is naturally in a breakdown state, using stored energy to maintain basic functions. According to the NIH, this is a crucial period when the body is highly receptive to nutrients that can shift it back into a rebuilding mode. Skipping breakfast or delaying your first meal can extend this breakdown phase, reducing the opportunity for muscle repair. In addition, relying on large meals later in the day instead of distributing protein intake evenly can be less effective. Research discussed in Harvard Health suggests that spreading protein intake across meals helps provide consistent signals to support muscle maintenance throughout the day. Physical activity also plays a key role in this process. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, emphasizes that regular movement, even light activities such as walking or stretching, help signal the body to preserve muscle tissue. Without this signal, the body may adapt by conserving energy, which can lead to a gradual reduction in muscle mass. This is why combining proper nutrition with consistent activity is essential. Focusing on only one aspect, either diet or exercise, may limit the overall benefit. It is also important to approach these changes thoughtfully. This information is based on general health guidance from credible sources such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, Harvard Health, CDC, and peer-reviewed research available on PubMed. It is not intended to replace personalized medical advice. Individuals with existing health conditions, dietary restrictions, or those taking medications should consult a qualified healthcare professional before making significant lifestyle changes. Understanding how aging affects muscle function allows for more informed decisions, and even small adjustments in daily habits can play a meaningful role in supporting strength and mobility over time. The idea that one simple food can support muscle health may sound surprising, but when you look at the science behind nutrition and aging, it begins to make sense why certain foods stand out, especially something as common as eggs. Eggs are considered a high-quality protein source, meaning they contain all the essential amino acids your body needs but cannot produce on its own. According to research discussed by the Cleveland Clinic and the NHS, these amino acids act like signals that switch on muscle repair and maintenance processes, which become less responsive as you age. This is particularly important after the age of 60, when the body experiences what researchers, including those cited by Harvard Health and PubMed, describe as anabolic resistance. In simple terms, your muscles no longer respond as strongly to protein intake as they once did, so the quality of protein becomes just as important as the quantity. Eggs are especially valuable because they contain a rich amount of leucine, one of the key amino acids involved in triggering muscle protein synthesis. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, has highlighted leucine's role in activating the pathways responsible for rebuilding muscle tissue. Think of leucine as a key that helps unlock the body's muscle-building machinery. Without enough of it, the process becomes less efficient, particularly in older adults. This is why simply eating more food without focusing on protein quality may not be enough to support muscle health. Eggs provide a convenient and effective way to deliver this signal early in the day, which becomes even more important after an overnight fast when the body is already in a breakdown state. However, one common mistake people make is either avoiding eggs due to outdated concerns about dietary cholesterol or not incorporating them consistently into their routine. Modern guidance from organizations like the NHS and insights from large-scale studies reviewed on PubMed suggest that for most people, eggs can be part of a balanced diet when consumed appropriately. Avoiding them entirely may mean missing out on a nutrient-dense food that supports not only muscle health, but also overall nutrition. Another mistake is assuming that eating eggs alone is enough. While they are a powerful starting point, they work best as part of a broader lifestyle that includes regular movement, balanced meals, and proper rest. Timing also plays a crucial role. Eating protein-rich foods like eggs in the morning helps provide your body with the amino acids it needs right when it is most receptive. After a night of fasting, your body is primed to shift from a breakdown state to a rebuilding state, and according to the Mayo Clinic, providing protein at this time can help support that transition. Delaying protein intake until later in the day may reduce this early opportunity to stimulate muscle maintenance. This does not mean that other meals are unimportant, but breakfast becomes a key moment to start the process. It is important to understand that this information is based on general guidance from credible sources such as the NIH, Cleveland Clinic, NHS, Harvard Health, and peer-reviewed studies available on PubMed. It is not intended to replace personalized medical advice. Individuals with specific health conditions or dietary restrictions should consult a qualified healthcare provider before making changes to their diet. By understanding how protein quality, timing, and consistency influence muscle health, especially after 60, you can make more informed choices that support your body's natural processes over time. Turning a simple breakfast into something that actively supports your strength involves more than just choosing the right food. It's about understanding how your body responds in the morning and using that window effectively. After waking up, your body is in a unique state where it is more responsive to nutrients and movement. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, after an overnight fast, the body tends to be in a catabolic state, meaning it has been breaking down stored energy to maintain basic functions. This creates an opportunity when you provide high-quality nutrients at this time, especially protein, you can help shift the body back into an anabolic or rebuilding state. The Mayo Clinic also highlights that protein intake earlier in the day can support muscle maintenance, particularly in older adults who may not respond as strongly to protein as they did in younger years. However, nutrition alone is only part of the equation. The body also responds to physical signals, and this is where light morning movement becomes important. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, emphasizes that regular physical activity helps maintain muscle mass and function as people age. Even gentle activities such as walking, stretching, or basic resistance movements can send a message to the body that muscle tissue is still needed. When you combine a protein-rich breakfast with movement shortly afterward, you create a stronger combined signal that encourages the body to preserve and support muscle. This is often more effective than relying on diet or exercise alone because the two work together to reinforce the same biological process. A common mistake many people make is eating a good breakfast but then remaining inactive for long periods. When the body does not receive a movement signal, it may not fully utilize the nutrients consumed for muscle support. Another frequent issue is relying on occasional intense exercise sessions instead of maintaining consistent daily activity. Research discussed in Harvard Health suggests that consistency plays a key role in healthy aging, and smaller, regular efforts are often more beneficial than irregular, high-intensity routines. This is especially true for older adults, where recovery and sustainability are important factors. Sleep is another critical component that is often overlooked. The body performs much of its repair and recovery during sleep, and without adequate rest, the effectiveness of both nutrition and physical activity can be reduced. The NIH and other health organizations note that poor sleep can interfere with muscle recovery and overall physical function. This means that even if someone is eating well and staying active, a lack of quality sleep may limit the benefits. Creating a routine that includes proper rest, balanced meals, and consistent movement provides a more complete approach to supporting muscle health. Hydration and overall daily habits also play a supporting role. While they may seem less significant, factors like staying adequately hydrated and avoiding long periods of inactivity throughout the day can influence how the body performs and recovers. The CDC supports maintaining an active lifestyle and healthy daily patterns as part of long-term wellness. It is important to remember that this information is based on general guidance from credible sources such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, CDC, and Harvard Health, and it is not intended to replace personalized medical advice. Individuals with specific health conditions or limitations should consult a healthcare professional before making changes to their routine. By combining proper nutrition, light movement, consistent habits, and adequate rest, you create an environment where your body is better supported in maintaining strength and function over time. Even when someone is trying to eat better and stay active, there are often small, overlooked habits that quietly interfere with maintaining muscle strength, especially after the age of 60. One of the most common issues is simply not eating enough overall, particularly when it comes to protein. As people age, appetite can decrease, and meals may become smaller or less frequent without intentional planning. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, adequate protein intake is essential for preserving muscle mass, yet many older adults fall short without realizing it. This becomes more significant due to what researchers, including those cited by Harvard Health and PubMed, describe as anabolic resistance, where the body requires stronger nutritional signals to maintain muscle. If those signals are weak or inconsistent, the body may gradually reduce muscle tissue over time. Another hidden factor is chronic stress, which is often underestimated. While stress is commonly associated with mental health, it also has physical effects on the body. Prolonged stress can increase levels of cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated for extended periods, may contribute to muscle breakdown. The Mayo Clinic and other reputable health sources explain that chronic stress can interfere with the body's ability to repair and maintain tissues, including muscle. This means that even if nutrition and physical activity are relatively good, unmanaged stress may still limit progress. Finding ways to manage stress, such as maintaining a regular routine, staying socially connected, or engaging in relaxing activities, can indirectly support muscle health by creating a more balanced internal environment. Hydration is another area that is frequently overlooked. Many older adults do not drink enough fluids throughout the day, either due to reduced thirst signals or concerns about frequent urination. However, proper hydration plays a role in overall physical function, including muscle performance and recovery. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, emphasizes that staying hydrated supports normal bodily functions, including circulation and temperature regulation, which can influence how effectively muscles work. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue or reduced physical performance, making it harder to stay active and maintain strength. Diet quality also plays a critical role. Relying heavily on processed or convenience foods can limit the intake of essential nutrients needed for muscle support. These foods are often lower in high-quality protein and other important nutrients, while being higher in added sugars or unhealthy fats. According to Harvard Health and research available on PubMed, whole foods that provide a balance of protein, vitamins, and minerals are more supportive of overall health, including muscle maintenance. A common mistake is choosing foods based solely on convenience rather than nutritional value, which over time can contribute to weaker muscle support. Another important but subtle factor is inconsistency. Some individuals may make positive changes for a short period but struggle to maintain them long term. The NIH and CDC both emphasize the importance of consistency in lifestyle habits, noting that regular patterns of healthy eating and physical activity are more beneficial than short bursts of effort followed by inactivity. The body responds best to repeated signals over time, and irregular habits may not provide enough consistency to support muscle maintenance effectively. It is also important to recognize that these insights are based on general health guidance from credible sources such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, CDC, Harvard Health, and peer-reviewed studies on PubMed. They are intended for educational purposes and should not replace personalized medical advice. Individuals with specific health conditions, dietary needs, or those taking medications should consult a qualified healthcare professional before making significant changes. By becoming aware of these hidden habits and making gradual, sustainable adjustments, it is possible to create a more supportive environment for maintaining strength, mobility, and overall well-being as the body ages. If there's one key takeaway from all of this, it's that maintaining and even supporting your muscle strength after 60 is less about extreme routines or complicated diets and more about consistent, intentional habits that reinforce each other over time. Starting your day with a protein-rich breakfast such as eggs can provide the essential amino acids your body needs, particularly leucine, which plays a critical role in stimulating muscle protein synthesis. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and studies available on PubMed, leucine acts as a trigger for the body's muscle-building pathways, which tend to become less responsive with age, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. Consuming protein early in the day is particularly beneficial because after an overnight fast, the body has been in a catabolic or muscle-breaking state. Providing high-quality protein at this time helps shift the body back into an anabolic or muscle rebuilding state. The Mayo Clinic supports this idea, emphasizing that consistent protein intake throughout the day, especially starting with breakfast, is essential for older adults who wish to maintain muscle strength and overall physical function. Beyond nutrition, integrating movement into your morning routine multiplies the benefits of that protein intake. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, highlights that regular physical activity, including gentle or moderate exercises such as walking, stretching, or body weight resistance exercises, helps preserve muscle mass and maintain functional ability. Even light activity sends a critical signal to the body that muscle tissue is still needed. When combined with a protein-rich meal, this signal is reinforced, creating an environment where the body can more efficiently use the nutrients consumed for repair and maintenance. Harvard Health also emphasizes the importance of consistency over intensity, noting that smaller, repeated actions are more effective for sustaining muscle health over time than occasional high-intensity efforts. For older adults, this approach is particularly important because it balances effectiveness with safety and long-term sustainability. Consistency in habits extends beyond breakfast and morning movement. Proper sleep, hydration, and balanced nutrition throughout the day are all crucial components that influence muscle health. The NIH notes that sleep is when much of the body's repair and recovery occurs, and insufficient or low-quality sleep can reduce the effectiveness of both nutrition and exercise interventions. Hydration also plays a supporting role, as even mild dehydration can impair physical performance and recovery, according to the CDC. Additionally, spreading protein intake evenly across meals ensures that the body receives a steady supply of essential amino acids throughout the day, which has been shown in studies reviewed by PubMed and highlighted by Harvard Health to be more effective than consuming most protein at a single meal. These daily habits, when practiced consistently, reinforce the body's ability to maintain and rebuild muscle tissue effectively. Another important aspect is addressing common lifestyle pitfalls that may unintentionally undermine muscle health. Chronic stress, for example, can elevate cortisol levels, which is associated with increased muscle breakdown over time, according to the Mayo Clinic. Stress management techniques such as meditation, mindful breathing, social engagement, or even light movement can help mitigate these effects. Similarly, relying too heavily on processed foods or meals low in high-quality protein may provide convenience but fail to support muscle maintenance, as noted by Harvard Health. Over time, repeated choices of this nature can subtly reduce muscle mass and functional capacity. By recognizing and adjusting these habits, individuals can create a daily environment that supports muscle preservation and overall vitality. It's essential to remember that while these strategies are evidence-based, this guidance is meant for general educational purposes and does not replace personalized medical advice. Individuals with existing health conditions, dietary restrictions, or those taking medications should consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making significant changes to their routine. Institutions such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, CDC, and NHS provide guidance that supports these principles, emphasizing the combination of nutrition, physical activity, rest, and stress management as key elements of healthy aging. Understanding these principles empowers older adults to take control of the factors they can influence, helping them maintain independence, mobility, and quality of life. Ultimately, the most effective approach is one that is consistent, simple, and sustainable. Incorporating a protein-rich breakfast, engaging in light morning movement, maintaining hydration, prioritizing quality sleep, and managing stress are all interrelated habits that reinforce each other. The Cleveland Clinic and other reputable sources confirm that it is this pattern of repeated supportive actions, not extreme or sporadic interventions, that drives meaningful improvements in muscle health over time. By focusing on gradual, consistent changes, older adults can provide their bodies with the signals necessary to maintain and support muscle strength, improving overall function and resilience. Even small incremental changes in daily routine, when maintained over weeks and months, can create measurable benefits in strength, balance, and energy. These cumulative effects demonstrate the power of sustained, evidence-based habits for aging well, emphasizing that the journey toward maintaining muscle health is continuous.